Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 105 Avenue North, Seattle, Washington. And people in the janitor's room. There's one in there named Mary. Maria is in there. There's a black Nazi, possibly. It's from LaSalle Apartments downtown. And he's portraying that he works here. He's threatening me with slavery, and so is Mary. They threatened me with other threats, including rape, murder, mutilation. And they've also hung out, along with the other morons, in a crawl space. They've terrorized me in the hall. They've terrorized me on the microphone. So you might have heard me. I was cursing them. And so the smelly males of this building that nobody wants, and the females, they've threatened me repeatedly and targeted me. They've threatened me, including this thing. She's in on it. She works there. And they've threatened me with murder, rape, mutilation. It's actually been streamcasted out. And these people are definitely inferiors. And they smoke crack. They smoke meth. And like one of them, who's allegedly a cop, he actually thought I sacrificed him in the tub. He's sitting here right now. So they've threatened illegal entry. I don't hear as much now. One of them said it's as quiet as I'll be. And so the janitor's room stretches around the kitchen, breaks up here, and then there's the bathroom. And there's no light in the bathroom, so I can't, but the janitor's around this area of the bathroom. And some crawl space behind the toilet. Crawl space possibly, let's see. So it's not going to be, well, this is wide enough for someone. So behind the toilet, and see that this is how this, they'll threaten you behind a wall, then they get you dragged off and discredited. And one of the retarded black Nazis that's threatening to come in, and they've entered stuff here that's sealed. Even that's dangerous because they can unseal it, stick it back together, and inject it. So the bums have threatened me on a daily basis. They also have entered and smeared fecal around the apartment, urine, menstrual blood, and vaginal fluid. They boast about it. And so I was cursing them a few minutes ago, and also telling them that I didn't want retard dick. Part of the black Nazis' repertoire is force them don't want them, and then try to get you to call them their boyfriends so they can take over your checks, your storage unit, whatever property you have. It's also the repertoire of the Bloods and Zetas, and yes, I lose my temper. And so they were threatening to kill me, to rape me, to murder me, to mutilate me. And so lately they've gone on a tangent of you're going to lose your fingers. That's been going on at least a month. And you're going to let us cut your cheeks. And then one member's place, obviously, she went to Elizabeth Gregory yesterday. I was there. And she actually told me you're going to let us scar you. Now I've got to get some breakfast, so I'm going to start with some protein and some coffee. And they're in an allegedly empty janitor's room. our kingdom come, they will be done. Lord is in heaven. Please forgive our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For that is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Amen. Now, the bum in the wall is a black Nazi moron. So let's just realize that. And he's actually threatening me with murder and mayhem, and including an illegal commitment. And he's in the wall with a couple whores in the janitor's room. And from 5100 40th, oh, she's playing nod off. She's threatening to nod off my finger or some other part of me. Other part of my anatomy. So she's threatening my vagina. If she wants to touch me, I'd obviously have to knock her down. Comes in my apartment, I'm going to knock her down, tape her up, and call 911. I got to get rid of those voices somehow, you know. Whatever you think you're going to do to me, I'm going to do the same thing to you. I'm actually not going to eat her vagina as she just threatened me. So Mary, her mother is Nell at 51 Avenue Northeast. She's playing brutally. What's the name? Dark hair. She's not a beautiful woman. She's a big shot. Is she beautiful? No. She's a whore. Interview. And she and her prostitutes. And her daughter's a retardo. She couldn't. It was too retarded. She's involved in clitoridectomies. These aren't Muslims. These are gang members. Zetas, Bloods, some, because, you know, different gangs are different go-to people. And so that's Mary and her mother, Nell. It's a strange name, like Sarko. Apartment, well, she's behind 402. They're ground floor units, and they have big picture windows. Sliding glass door. Involved in a fake government plot with dirty police and dirty retarded security and a heavy influence of she said, "Your own sacrifice, you fucking bitch." She's a con whore. She supposedly money as an escort, but those men must be desperate, clearly trash. And if we were trying to look classy, she would have had to keep her mouth shut and put a bag on her head. You know, because some males eat dinner with some of these women, supposedly, or take them out and then they have sex afterward. You'd have to shut the bag up because you wouldn't want the bag, really, you wouldn't want her face to be seen because the mark of inferiority is stamped on her face. And so she's white or white with other. And her mother looks like the old bag. Actually, she looks like a paper bag that you've crumpled. And she's at Gilman Place Apartments. It's down from Metropolitan Market, ground floor unit, big picture windows. And note, these gang members are all child molesters, and that neighborhood has a lot of children, but a lot of the child molesters are running or raising children. It's very common within the gangs to even commit crimes while they have their baby in tow. So these bums are threatening me, including Ugly Blood. This is Retard Dick that they're threatening me with. Retard Dick. That the gang members also get a kick out of having Retard Dick, normal or nice people. So they'll have the scum of the earth, including black Nazi morons, including pissy smelling people or people with herpes or AIDS, what you'll probably bite. So that was the retarded black Nazi security guard. Now they're threatening Germans. So if you say, gee, you're threatening, once again, where are they? They're in a wall. Hello. retard dicks even in a wall. Retard dick. Retard dick. It's retard dick. They all are. All the black Nazis, it's all retard. Didn't you know? It's a big secret of America. Retard dick. Dick. Retard dick. Not interested in retard dick. Not interested in retard dick. Nazi maggots and the other shit. They're so ugly. And nobody will have them, so they have to threaten them. Threatened with retard dick in this building for 3 years. This is retard dick. Oh, and the retarded bums, including the Seattle Police Department, will pull. Do people like this? Do you owe money to people like this? No. They're extortionists. You're a retard dick. Also, we're going to get justice. So. The bums themselves claim they will get justice. The utter bums of the entire universe claim that they themselves will get. The most retarded people everywhere, anywhere, want justice. So they can rape and murder court free as they law. If they make the law, they believe that's the law. There's a bum mightily about groceries, including stabbing. This is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133, Unit 329. I'm being harassed illegally by prostitutes and dirty cop here and dirty security guards. The dirty cop might find support in as they found for 13 years, leading a witch hunt, including to poison my water. The dirty fat-ass bastard that was tri-court bastard that started this with me 13 years ago. And there's a dirty, smelly hooker in the wall that the gang member cops have portrayed as a policewoman or FBI. She's in reality a fellatio whore. She is an alleged escort. She's a white slaver, and she was threatening to eat my vagina a few minutes ago. She used to cut out my clitoris, hanging out in a janitor's room. Where the dirty cops have been hanging out, they're drunks, they smoke crack, and they smoke meth. And the gang member cops like threaten people, including and there's a bum behind the wall. So it might be the same fat-ass cop, he might still be here. And then they'll pretend people are crazy and have them hauled off after the retarded hookers were in the wall with them playing cop. And the retarded hookers, while they're playing cop and FBI, they'll take a video of your suffering and pee in your food. They'll ejaculate into it, put fecal and tampons into it. One of the whores here even smears her vaginal fluid on my shirts. A guy has ejaculated onto it. Did I give out the key? No, these are not. You wouldn't give out your key. And Mary is from 5100 40th Avenue Northeast, apartment, well, her mother's behind apartment 402. Big picture window facing the bedroom of 402, no, faced the living room. I think it did. Yeah, living room. One of the bums is chanting, manage you. There's some dirty black Nazis, and apparently, you know, I think it's retard dick, of course. So, and I'm celibate, and I don't want any of this shit. So they've been threatening me with rape. When the cop 13 years ago had me raped, I'd actually been celibate for quite some time. And so retard dick in Washington will always be forced upon you. Absolute retard dick that you don't want. And I like calling it retard dick because the expression is it hits a nerve, and it's absolutely the truth. The filthiest, most retarded DNA seeks to propagate itself. DNA that's inferior, and has missing and broken, gene sequences or tweaked gene sequences, even like generations. And you can tell how retarded they are and how inferior by their faces. There's a strong black Nazi movement within the gangs because what they can scream racism, and it behooves the whole gang. And so Mary's mother, now part of a large fake police FBI movement, 5100 40th Avenue Northeast, and she was behind 402, and it was the Burt Gilman place apartment. Green cottages, dark green, and they're cute. But I believe Satanists, they're all in a fake cop network from what I've seen, from what I've heard. And so, excuse me, I just burped, but I'm trying to eat this too. When I eat, which they've threatened to starve me, and remember what gang members will do. If you've ever starved yourself in the past, they'll pretend, oh, she's just losing weight. And then they'll have pictures of you, if necessary, or video, where we're fine. Sorry, the broadcast shut off. So I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Washington, 98133. And the gang members hurt you by often your own habits. So let's say you're on a diet. Well, then they'll starve you and state you're fine, and they'll at a time when you're better and healthier. They'll even show somebody else who's slipped into your place because they're into full identity theft. So if you're hearing people where you shouldn't hear them, because there's nobody else in here but me, yes, some spirit, you're hearing bums in a janitor's room that's supposed to be empty. And then the retardos that are shouting at me with such authority, remember, they're all retarded people in a low-income building. And there's a whore playing blah, blah, blah. She's trying to make a rule about shopping. So these retardos have killed and killed people, and they have tried to make rules. They think that they are in power because the Seattle Police Department let them get away for 13 years. Some of them 30 years. Why do I say 13 years? Well, 13 years ago, I was gang raped by the Seattle Police Department and their gang member buddies. Some of them were named the Canos, and they were from the apartment below me, probably a tri-court. So they were also in other buildings. There was a building with a back view, and I saw trees and cute squirrels and birds, and then also a building to the left and a building to the right that's now a pretty stucco building, possibly with a fountain. Last time I was, it's just a straight up and down box. It looked like a big white box. Some of those look like ugly boxes. Window person, and you realize cosmetically that's his. But anyway, see, they transform some sort of because it's a low. But they put a pretty sort of a taupe almost stuck over that. And about 132nd, 133rd. By the way, if you heard a chain noise, this is typical of the retarded people in this building and even out in the community. The Seattle Police Department and the gangs themselves, they've outfitted themselves and their friends with chains. So you've got people with it reeking infection. A couple of them, like Stephanie. Mary hasn't smelled good. She hides, in the janitor's room, and then there's crawl space, evidently. Other which all widow. And I've actually, it makes the fire department even more culpable because guess what's there? There's fire department equipment in that hall. Now, which is interesting to note that some of the surveillance that they've boasted of, and they will set up illegal accounts so that they can, you. And they're on Comcast, Wi-Fi, and security cop the fat ass that tried to arrest me because I wasn't a prostitute, even though at court they pretended I was a prostitute around all these. Probably did it again at Gilman Place Apartments. All they do, if they can't get in through the window or door, and not always care with windows and doors, they'll come in and they'll with a needle, and they'll have the gang members you, and they might even have people underage, like at Burt Gilman Place Apartment, underage. You're screwing your son. They'll do just about anything they can. So remember the creed of the gang member, this earmark, and I always forget to say this one, I should just give you a list. The earmark is sheer dishonesty. So whatever they can lie about, they. So earlier I was cursing them, and you might say you were threatening people. Are there really supposed to be people in an empty janitor's room? And by the way, more retard Dick was shouting rape threats at Nazi and the other scumbag. So it's retard. Let's start calling these people retard DNA. Why? Is because they're not even human to me. It doesn't mean I'm a terrorist and I go around, hitting them or killing them or something. But if the government were in control the way they should, these people would be euthanized. If I were an alien, I would just press a button. And as for they've tortured animals and changed animals, and they've also messed around with DNA. So you've got people with about 80 IQ thinking they can control everything. That's one of the earmarks of the satanic gang member zombie. They have their own brains, they don't have their own aura, constantly picking me to pieces. Apparently I was the only one left because everybody else lost theirs in a fight. And my chakras are huge and actually as valiant as a warrior. And I'm not bragging, but it's because of what I've endured. Also, I believe in God. And when you believe in God, God is valiant. And that's where we get valiant. We don't get bravery from Satan. We get bravery from God. So, once again, one of the retards was saying she threatened him. Is anyone supposed to be in a wall with a dirty cop that's a child molester? He was actually going off into a tangent about little girls. And one of the bums, bodily this, bodily that, yap, yap, yap. And Mary was in hand the sound. I hope that was broadcast at the time. It's hard to remember. But, and one of the bums is playing meals. So they tried, basically what these gang members, and it's been done, it's too late for America. There's a strong anti-white and other sentiment about Americans and other countries, so they're trying to rid the world of people that are normal or that are nice and that are smart, but they'll try to use you. Even mechanically, they'll have a belief system where all they have to do is cut out your brain and they're going to wear your brain. Instead of admiring him, I'm telling you that's the satanic principle. Even if you're crazy, I'm telling you what they believe. And if they think you're brave, they know they're not brave. So they believe in Satan. So let's say they think you're brave. They'll actually cut open you to have your show and your bravery. That's the way they think. If they think you're an artist, they'll try to enslave you. So I'm quite the target, and I'm just playing what the gang members like to do. They set decrees. We finished you. Actually, horror. Trying to finish me, you have destroyed yourselves. And you're going to bring something down on you that's very. And Washington State is ruined, and I could rely on the FBI because these bums in the Seattle Police Department portrayed me as a whore, and then so nobody will listen. So the FBI, which is already tainted. So It's better if somebody calls FBI or Homeland Security and ATF, even in other states, notice, and know that these bums have threatened every state of the union. One was every state in the union, as I was talking about it last night, and they threatened every country that's a NATO country. My favorite countries, which include England, Ireland, Wales, Europe, and remember some of the Europeans, they're not all in Europe. Like, you can't say that some of the countries are actually Europe. But they're founded by, people. And those are called two of the black Nazis yesterday, this morning. Much of this. They were chanting, "No Norwegians." So what they do is decimate people. They actually want them where they'd be running countries like a black Nazi retard countries with a white drug addict like Mary, ugly stinky whore, and ruin history, which they've done, and they'll even present history. Mary might decide that Ireland is her and a black Nazi, or they might call Italy, like, and all the gang members play this. They'll pretend that like Mary's deficiency DNA was the Italian DNA. So if you're making fun of black people, well, do I make fun of the whites and others that are involved as well? Yes, I do. Are the whites and others, would I choose them to be dark that are like these? No. I wouldn't even preserve their DNA at this point of the last 13 years. It's just a terrible day anyway. And it's an artificially created gene pool, and the very worst of the DNA was already promoted, and it supplanted decent, normal, good DNA. And the gut supported the inferior DNA as well. One of the whores is playing gene rap, and so she thinks she's powerful, Millie Hooker, and she's playing gene rap about DNA, and she's smelling and dirty 10 generations back. I think it's a white hooker. I think it's she injects heroin till her arm almost falls out, craps you, and shows you off as Gene bitch, and anyone like you and who likes you. So that's the curse on you. It'll show how you sons of bitches are. And daughters of bitches. So Mary, she's probably an alcoholic or drug addict going back 10 generations. 8 generations. So America promoted that shit. They got us in the dirt. They also, I believe, there was a movement by gang members to kill people they were jealous of. If they couldn't enslave them, and they'll enslave it in a different way, by the way, they'll take your part you out. They might even have you forced into slavery. So we talk about Chinese people, and they're doing this, and Muslims are doing this and that in other countries. Well, I'm in this country, and these people are terrorists. And for 13 years, the police department, these are terrorist people. They are not good people. Even the dirty cops. Officer Bobby of the Seattle Police Department, he has Carolyn Delaney. What is that? That's like this mother used drugs or sedative and well enough, and you can see the anomalies, cases of Americans. They got the carpet, and there's another theory I held. Let's say you've got crack addicts and other, even pot programmed. They got in after the fall with Satan. Now they bodies of deadies that hate, that are not black. So their idea of beauty and what is normal and white first of all, they would be unable to choose. And if you think that's racist, I don't really. What I would say at that point is, well, I'm not one of those who thinks that all Asians look alike. And so, you know, I can see a nod in the faces of Asians where some people think, oh, it's an Asian person, and I actually will opponents of that face and say, I think the drinker too. They don't look alike to me. And so you have the retarded psychotics also that are whites picking out what looked good. It's not good. So the retarded inferior picks retarded inferior. Subconscious. So even if a rich man marries trash, let's analyze that. Well, he might have gone for a beautiful face, which certainly someone like Mary, obviously, or the other whores here. That some bone structure might have surfaced that married her. Some bone. By the way, bums are in on magic, and the reason why they just stole still chakra, brain, aura. It's like opening, even make themselves look better. A lot of the retarded are hideously ugly, but will remove wrinkles. The retarded psychotics on fit judge. They played judgment on me. They're inferior. Retard whore can't judge me. We're dealing with retarded people. And Mary's playing her player. And she just made a cry of pain because she was playing eating your etheric body. She was sucking at it. Lewd, grotesque zombies. They will eat. They are also in on visible cannibalism, as Mary expressed about eating my vagina. And so the Bloods and Zips expect they probably, and she's answering, probably have some sort of, oh, and they're playing cheeks. So they're referring to, you know what, you do anything to me, you ugly hooker. So if you have my cheeks, expect your cheeks to be unwearable in public, even if you're a male. And even if you're a security church that's in the Seattle Police Department, you don't have authority over me. Even if you're a dirty cop, you don't have to cut my cheeks because you're protected. You just don't have authority. Plus, you're all deficiencies. You're all zombies. You are deficient units, I call them. And I am pure poison. One and all who try to use any particle. And I need them to come in to the Seattle Police Department, and I need them to clean up Washington. If you believe this, which is true, it's a cast, unfortunately. You need to contain them. They're all psychotic. And one of the favorite activities was to have these zombie retards running around threatening me. 50 people by the time I got to the end of the line. Maybe 10, maybe 5 significant, how many they could get. The zombie police department, then I'd call 911 and they'd act like I was crazy. So a whore in the wall is threatening root beer or Rupali, and a variety of threats, including glass that they share. Please contact Homeland Security. The police department will protect crazy. And so they've also poured poisons in my water, and they're also radiation in the water. When they want to punish you, they all have chemicals in your water. And the Seattle Police Department has been doing this for 13 years to me. 13 years. There's not much left of me, as they say sometimes, which they brag, especially after they've taken the etheric body. So you're going to hear me curse them, and you're going to hear me threaten people that are in my wall. And I don't give a damn if it's a security guard. He doesn't have any jurisdiction here. The security guards usually work for, or when the whore's playing, you're going to blah, blah, and be indentured for a black man. I can't tell you how repulsive the black Nazis have made themselves. So here they are. They're already involved. They want to take over and destroy and pretend that they invented everything. And they will try that. And so, the whore is playing indentured in your house. No, I'm going to call ATF or somebody to help me, and you're going to be losing your apartment. See, if I could get witnesses, even now, the social workers, they're all managers, everybody's sick. But if you get enough people watching them or the threat of being watched, they back off. Even the dirty cop, if you call 911 on the dirty cops, they back off a little bit, but they'll have like their contacts, like, oh gosh, at Elizabeth Gregory home, one of the ugly old bloods, Marilyn, she does house cleaning. But anyway, she acts like she's a queen. Big why, she's a blood. And she actually stated, we'll have her call the right 911. What does that mean? That means if I tried to reach someone, then they'd pretend I was crazy. And they might even send out an ambulance or something to come get you. And it might not be on all the 911 records, but then they'll cover it up even if it wasn't. Because the Seattle Police Department didn't want the secret getting out. The secret is they let bums pretend that they were police. And Mary is nothing but a retarded hooker and bum. 10 generations of inferior bums. All people are bums. The Seattle Police Department have made themselves. Remember, they were dead. Oh, one of them's they played. They made me cute. Threatening someone. Am I allowed to threaten a voice? Well, my premise is if the voice comes in and I have to beat it and tape it up for the Seattle Police Department to come get it, voices. Up anybody who assaults me. Assault me, I'm going to get it back. I might even grab a weapon. Why? And I was ready to dive on a guy on the bus. He looked like he was going to pull a weapon. Dive right on him. Why? I'm crazy. 15 years of torture, hard, and come, and they have keys. Like I've explained, it doesn't take any brain to open up master locks. Good brand, have a master key lock, blah, blah, blah. You just buy the 10 or so models they have. You've got the keys to everyone's master lock. If they have 20, you just buy 20. Or you have the master key. It's not even anything. So they'll open your suitcase and, like, remember, try to put as a whore. There's another thing they do to victims. They water or possessions, or in your water, rather, and onto your possessions or food that, or even in your household cleaning items, and then you've got semen everywhere, you ejaculate. Now, sometimes I'd have trouble recognizing because I'm, not sexually active, but also I tend to spill a lot of toothpaste. Now, the bums will use just about any kind of rumor they can, and they will also take advantage, like let's say you're a toothpaste spiller. Well, the dirty, filthy retards are going to follow you around. You're a prostitute and that you have ejaculate on you. And here's my relationships. There are none. Only has come here to visit. 507 Aurora Avenue, 9813. Only one person has actually come here to stay. It was a transgender who's into males. oh gosh, a couple years ago. She stayed here, but that's the only person that I've let stay. A person named Diane from Elizabeth Gregory home, no good either. Mullet woman with long silver hair. They're all crazed. They might even be doing charitable work with not sprayed, but sprinkled glass. So I've actually gotten, this is Lisa Guthrie at 10507 Aurora Avenue, Washington, 98133. These bums are lined up, cheek with Gregory. She's a heroin addict off 5100 40th Avenue Northeast apartment. Oh, it's behind 402. And the zip code is 98105 there. And there's a bunch of black Nazis and some other scumbags, including on the premise. He's not here legally, just like the retarded and other terrorist security guards. One just mentioned terrorists. They are terrorists. And they're named to cut my cheeks. And so they'll just keep threatening, bedeviling you, expecting me to put them out on CameraFi. You know, you're not going to get a great microphone result, I keep telling you. I did a little research, and apparently the noise canceling, which I wondered about anyway, my brain formulating this idea like, they don't want it. So you're not probably a good microphone. I looked it up. I asked the question, and sure enough, it's not about microphone, cell phone, because there's a limitation. So if you're obviously through this. Now, there are, if you could go through the internet, just like a lot of, if you can go through internet, I just maybe have thought of something. If you can go through internet with the buy card somehow, then you end up probably, I just figured that out, with, probably would end up threatening with having your kidneys out, slavery, rape, murder, giving your stuff to men, pretending they're a boyfriend. They'd pretend that it's a friend so they could rob you, accompany you, basically imprison you, coerce you, or force you into doing things that look like you've done it of your own volition. Going out with retard dick, like Mr. Black Nazi bitch. If you are forced into saying a ugly retarded boyfriend, the retard dick, then retard dick rapes a boy or husband. They're big on playing husband with retard dick, America. Now, I haven't been out of the state for 13 but I believe the other states are ruined, and they've tried to make everybody as much of a zombie as they are. One of them is playing the word Linda over and over. They also, and they're playing blah, blah, blah has claimed you. When somebody shows up to you because you're trying to hold me hostage, is that going to count as claimed? I don't think so, bitch. And so they're acting like you cannot get these ideas out of their head. They need to be euthanized. And you can't even say, give them a lobotomy. You'd have to do 8 operations on their brain to get rid of them, but you'll be able to stop them from yapping and causing trouble. Even though they won't do it, I say just destroy. Now, am I threatening terrorism? No. I'm saying lunatics. And I blame them for much of the problems in the world. Retard dick causing rape culture or making it worse in Europe. Because, you might have rape culture, but which that's what they're calling it, I consider it to have rape culture. They're the ones with everybody. I blame them for bankruptcies, and they're not messing with them via the paranormal. They're also then trying to induct bitter or sweeter the Asian street hand. Hitler was talking about, I believe they made spirit contact people like Hitler. The actually admire Hitler if they're a black Nazi, and they have anti-Semitic premise or philosophy going on. And if I don't retard dick, by the way, I don't have retard dick. So keep retard dick away from me. That's my... These bums actually want to set up rape camps in Europe. And, we hear all this... Well, these people are not going to aid the Muslims. They're playing, oh, we're operating on their brain, we're hypnotizing them. They're going to be like us. We're going to make everybody zombies. I don't think I took my... Did I? By the way, I'm a sick woman of asthma, allergies, chemical sensitivities, chronic fatigue. The gang member around and playing we're taking back her Social Security or her food stamps, and it'll be worthless, useless, been on welfare for sucking up everything. By the way, it's not just whites they're discriminating against. I keep saying they are discriminating. Well, some Europeans aren't white. They're discriminating against those people. They don't look white. It's not, my problem. I like Europeans a lot. It's really not my problem if they're white or not. Some Italians aren't going to look white, but they're some of my favorite. Dark Italian or light Italian. It's just not my problem. They're both going to be a favorite. If it's a darker Russian or a lighter Russian, it's not going to be my problem. They're one of my favorites. If it's and they're a wonderful sounding person or, fun and nice, not my problem if they don't look white. I care less. But the black Nazis are seeking to eradicate, and they will bury cultures under the names of, it's not black Nazis, it's the morons that are in with them. And I keep posting it. It is a rental receipt. Rental receipts and the dirty cops they kept playing. So here's the date of payment. And they were playing admonished. So the black Nazis and the falsify your paperwork, that is an earmark of how they falsify. Because if you go back to the broadcast, if you're like, I'm admonishing you, you didn't pay rent. It was security guard, fake cop. It isn't just sort of a habit of the true government. They're a dangerous separatist movement. They don't want just their rights, they will have yours. They are anti-Semitic. And even if they talk about liking Arabs, supposedly, and so will the Americans, the other Americans that are in with them. You cannot trust them. They admire him. I heard stories when Schindler's List came out. I read it, but I wasn't around black Nazis, so I didn't see it. I didn't really see it. Even there were whole, I couldn't watch the whole thing. It was too awful. Conducted a movement like that against the spirit world and against the visible. So if they think they can get away with replacing the lines of Europe by mixing white trash in with darker people, they will. Fascinating people, basically. They're playing girlfriend you. What do they mean by girlfriend me? So I want no one. They're all zombies. Your feet don't get hurt anymore. Zombies. Even people call me ugly in public. Cannibals. do it visibly and they haven't cut up a body yet, they're horrific, like something out of a sci-fi. A lot of you do. Okay? Or, so, even if you don't believe it. So, just like me, I'm on the bus. There's the shampoo. By the way, in America are the people doing crimes. So, this is the safest water, the safest food, survival of the shittiest. They've had access to bigger resources, too. And the social services promote people based on who will do the crime. Now, so picture me being on a bus, and then me being, your body was being clasped by something that came out of the hindquarters of a female who looked normal to you. And then into putting fecal on you. Sorry, the mop keeps being thrown down by a spirit, I think. She said something about the mop. So she said something about a mop. And now, you know, do I mind mischievous spirits in the, like, sort of the kinder, gentler meaning? Like, oh, it's just knocking down a mop, so you listen to her? No, I don't. But if she's cursing you, then I don't like it. If she's like the U.S. people, I don't like it. Now, so these people are horrific, and they believe, including with fleshly cannibalism, that if they poop you and urinate you, if they excrete you in fecal or urine, subjugated to them. Now, what I advise to do to the U.S., and even if you're in the U.S., I advise you to put a mirror on the U.S. people. And so, even if they've, like you're one of them and you're a zombie, but that you know that they caused death to your grandma by converting you into a zombie, well, curse them down and die for a zombie. Whether you want to call it a zombie or not, you cannot lie down and die for a zombie, rather. When you lie down and die, the fight's over, or they get such a grip. And so, if you've ever felt like you were eaten by these zombies, your parts eat them. It's really not that satanic. It's not satanic. You're defending yourself. Especially if you're in a different country and you feel like the Americans ate your etheric body. Put a curse on your etheric body to eat them. And remember, they don't like certain essential oils. Rosemary. They fear it. Now, but always pray to God, not the devil. You don't need to be Wiccan. It's not going to help you. You need to pray to God and Jesus and Mary. And they hate that are evil satanic zombies and anyone like them. They hate rosemary. They hate blue vervain. They have a love of vampires. That's a very sick obsession, and it's a work of the devil. I mean, if you read about them and you like to scare yourself, fine. But if you wanted to be one, and so the sick obsession with the vampires, that's got to go. So they hate blue vervain. These dirty bastards, whether you believe it or not, they try to make people into vampires in the spirit world. Now, they hate dragon's blood. You don't consecrate it as a Wicca person, you pray to God. There's only one God, that's the Father of Jesus. Now, there's a psychic attack too, as I'm telling. Then you've got some others. There's deer's tongue. They hate it because it has to do with salacious gossip as well as legal contracts. the devil and his crew will and the devil taught these people how to do it. They taught them how to falsify. They taught them how to falsify the contracts, legal contracts, down to the black Nazi bum portraying that he's a security guard, but he's pretending he's a, might even pretend to be an FBI agent with the retarded hookers. And so he's pretending that you are admonished after you paid the rent. Now, I wish I'd had that video. He stated later, or one of them stated, we like to admonish as soon as they pay the rent. I already knew that. I'd already told. It was from the horse. Now, I'm going to show you my bank, which is the bone of much contention. And this is the bank I go to. It's Wells Fargo. The Tardos have professed that I am not Lisa Guthrie, and they will make you unrecognizable before, during. And I've actually had to tell the bank that there are people who are trying to pull a bank scam. This is life because the gang members have broadcasted personal information. When they have illegal surveillance, you can't even they are broadcasting me illegally and pretending it's legal. I am refuting them. All of the devil's works, or even what they're pretending are God's around, or turn them upside down. That is the premise of Satanism. They took Catholicism and other prayer and they turned it upside down. Basically, anything profane is their premise. As opposed to goodness and light, they like darkness. They like, instead of clean and beautiful, they like filth and ugly, or version of beauty. Well, in regard to children or animals, let me give you an example, or even animals in the plant life, professing terrible things to actually have to be altered for the sake, like a zombie germ. And I'm opening my life. This is my doctor. There was a plot. He's actually, I think he's at the U of Dub Clinic at our Bloods and Zetas, who will give out your records as well. So I am giving my records in a way out of the net. I might even get a copy of my birth certificate and show it, but I was born November 18, 1963. I used to go to a chat room, but they said never use your real birth date, so I didn't. And they said that, and I see why, because then people could then, even overseas, they would have, been able to get a hold of your, maybe your birth certificate. They said don't use your real address or your real name, and they even said that on TV. Who? The authorities, like just people like even doing those home shows. There's a show north. Don't use your real blah blah blah. But I was born November 18th, 1963. Again, here's my palm print. My hand is grooved from in a cheap string mop, kept breaking. It was also boasted by the gang members they were breaking it. So I don't know if master locks with that like that. I'd come back here and I'd find the bike lock loosely hanging. So they've actually popped my shoulder bigger than this, but so just like this on would be hanging. And then a retarded guy, and see it would have two holes there. Sorry, my fingers look terrible, but actually I have to wash my hands and rubbing alcohol. It's bad to expose myself to water very much usually, which a couple of these bums threaten me with death. And there's a so you'll hear the retardos playing various, and I can't find I broke my nail. I need to find my, these are some of my medications. Anyway, the retardos will play legal words like ticket, convicted, suspect, and you'll find those words over and over, including smelly retards that are pushing a shopping cart will change that. And the smelly retards are endorsed police and all program and bad police, dirty black Nazis, and crack corps. Things like you're this, you're that. It intimidates the victim. And basically it was like waking up in a horror movie. Somebody talking behind me that shouldn't be talking. They're in the room. And they get mad, so I'm not going to listen, but you made me into an especially, I'd say, stubborn person. You marred my face, scratches, and hands. I think maybe, now the thing is I can't see a reflection. I'm going to turn on the camera and I'm going to show you glass scratches. Let's see how good the light is. And there's nothing to look at, believe me. And they're playing Linda and Jeeves. Excuse me, I have to curse him. He just took Nick and he's playing Jeeves. There's nothing to look at, and I'll try to send of glass scratch. Pretty bad today. Bumming members. I was beautiful. There's no reason. So I, some of these are like that cherry hemangioma. That's a mole. I had a dig mark in my face from a black Nazi female. She clawed me, but I'm going to wait till I'm in the light. But it looks almost like there's some dig marks. Black Nazi. Otherwise, my skin pretty clear till I came to this building. There's a bit of a lag. So you might say, oh, she'd be pretty with makeup on. I'm not interested. There's scratches. And then what the gang members will do, they'll follow you around. After they've scratched you, they'll follow you around and have like 3 different stories. What's happening to some of the zombie gang members? Well, they're already in. So let's say they follow me around and threaten me for my backpack. And they're told she's a heroin addict. Hi, this is Lisa Guthrie. I'm at 10507 Aurora Avenue North, Seattle, Washington, 98133. And the black Nazi retardo is here. A couple of them from the Pike Place Market. They're security guards and a couple. There was a dirty cop. He might still be here. And I'm telling you what the gangs will do. So they'll portray your stuff as not your stuff, even if it has your medication in it. They'll mar you and scratch you and portray you're not you because you're marred and scratched. They'll even get a dirty doctor to go along with the plot, like a $10,000, $15,000 trip to Europe. And they'll portray isn't yours. They'll have you cut up. Oh, and then they'll tell people because they sprinkled glass on you and burned your hands with acid, you're not you. They'll say, I'm her lover, she stole it from me, and then they'll have zombies waylaying you. Well, I'll tell you, a lot of these retarded zombies, they're ending up, and that's what you want to eventually, well, I hope soon, you want them to be euthanized. And a lot of these retarded zombies are finding out after they've. And let me tell you something, even if it's a child and it's 14 years old, the minute they do a gang crime, they're a child molester, they're a murderer, they're a rapist, their lives are gone. I have no sympathy for gangs in the U.S. whatsoever, especially any that targeted me, such as if they child molested, did animal sacrifice. Well, even if they connect to it, so you've got everybody in Washington's gone anyway. So let's say there's a cute 7-year-old. Well, these people are inducting, they're taking their bastards out on, like, even to the lake. And one was talking to his little coffin birth bastard, about 6 years old. They said, what would happen if you ran over and got her purse? And the kid even said, I think she'd blow. You got what I call coffin births. Why? Because I believe everyone's a zombie. and I think they fell with Satan 10 years ago. So what they're doing now is they're going for the neck area. And they're still ugly, retarded hookers, and they're mad because I'm telling their department's involved. And it's not really their secrets. Once you enact something on me, I own your secrets now. That's my premise. So go to hell. They're playing mark you. Whatever you do to me, I'm going to do to you. So they're playing mark you also on a psychic, paranormal, ooh, we're big shots, we're cursing you. They're not. They don't have their own talents. All they've been doing is stealing my soul, my aura, my chakras, my spirit. And they're playing programmed. Too late, ugly bitch. No matter what you spout, you're still done. Just like those shits that you get to waylay me, they're done. You kill them, good. I'm glad you killed fuckers like you. And I hope you killed off my curses, at the very least. And eventually they're going to end up running out of time. So the black Nazi retards and the other supporters are chanting, you're going to have a black Nazi. I will call the police on you and have you shot. Why would they shoot him? Think about it. He's threatened me with weapons. He's threatened me. They've even threatened me with tear gas. And see, the black Nazis will absolutely go around portraying that you owe money to them. They'll often grab up your identity and try to grab your checks. And you might say, what if they're white? The whites will enter contracts with these people because they know there's a money and property trail. So let's say a whore moved in to my apartment and got my checks. And maybe she's paying a portion to him, but she's still happy. She gets a check. She gets the clothes. Some of them are making $300. One's making $1,000, another makes $2,000. Well, that's quite a bit of money. And then they share it among the gang. But the black Nazis, I noticed them 13 years ago, and then they screamed racism, and they had the dirty cop from Tricorp. One of the bums is threatening me with a bang. Well, when the ATF comes here or else, you can discuss that. You can discuss your game plan as you're in handcuffs with the dirty cops. Would you like that? I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you get that goal. Good job. Your goal, I know, is to be arrested. Thank you. And so they will enter while you're not home, or like if they inject you with a needle and rape you, they'll enter while you're asleep, walk around, have you. They might even be your lovers, according to all lies. But they're not. And who's going to double back on you? There was a male that I knew him for 20-some years. We never, I wasn't sexual gang rape at Tricorp. Keep your retard dick to yourself and your retard little bastards to yourself, bitch. So yesterday, the retard, ugly, black Nazi shit ass was telling me I was going to take shit asses, which they've done that before. The black Nazi shit asses won't be very happy. Especially when I cause a flood or worse. Whole building might come down. Grab a car, drive it through where trying to enslave me. And if it's in an apartment with, asses, just throw a couch out the window. Like dirty fucking granny. Have me take care of their dirty fucking granny. So white. In fact, they called it Mary Maids, and they were calling it one of the bum, like he's shut fucking household. I'll shit on their carpet and pee all over. Whatever you try to, so that's very crude. But ever you gonna let them do it to you, or just break everything? I'm gonna break everything. Police, blah blah blah. See, that Nazi is so inferior and so retarded. You're dealing with a moron brain. So he actually is telling me that they're going to call the police. You're dealing with sheer morons that the American government and populace would not admit they're morons for this shit. These are morons. And those crack whore babies, white, black, or in between, you're all gone. Alcohol and tobacco. So what the black Nazis and the other shit asses will often play is bounty hunter, FBI, then they'll get scared, they'll call it SVI, so you hear it wrong. Then they'll call it alcohol. He's a black Nazi shit ass. He's a target. You have no brain in there. Oh, he's threatening with the... I'll have everyone... Shut the fuck up, you shit-ass bitch. You're a shit-ass, ugly, black... I'm going to admit that you other fuckers are retarded that are in with them. You're all mentally ill shits. And let's see where the... from today. And Obama's playing We Agreed with Linda. So they try to have convoluted, complex shit going on where it's absolutely obligated. So-and-so said it was. Sometimes they'll play Ireland hired me, or someone universe wants me to. Anyone would believe shit like press and the FBI. Psychotic. The psychotic black man in our society was promoted as now we've I guess we're psychotic white men, as long as they go up with alcoholism and drugs. And others. Don't get the others. What's one of the most famous psychotic black men I can think? Oh, O.J. Simpson. What's the other one? Johnny Cochran. Johnny Cockstein. I'm just concerned. Well, just me. What's happening around me? Johnny Cockstein. Oh, they're playing. Oh, I'm so big doing a psych that they did psy attacks on everybody in the U.S. Up retardos playing you owe everybody $1 million. Do you think it's time to round up Washington yet? I'll keep broadcasting the shit asses. Don't worry. You're going to run to a white person. There's none left. The black Nazis basically are in their brains. They're gone. And the crack hoes are in their brains. They're all gone. They're all shit tardos. They're gone. And I like to call them shit tardos. It pisses them off. Johnny Cockstein. Johnny Cockstein. Johnny Cockstein. Johnny Cockstein. Johnny Cockstein. Johnny Cockstein. Yeah, that's a psychotic black man that everybody... Well, see, it's kind of funny because Saturday Night Live tells the truth in their skits. I should look up old skits on O.J. Simpson and Johnny Cox staying, and they're absolutely the truth. Parodies. I remember when we had VCRs, I would tape for people. I did a show for someone. No, not selling it. Taped a segment. Or somebody taped a segment, and I said, here, take this VCR tape. It's Saturday Night Live. Close to the truth, it's not even funny. I was thinking about Ireland. Let's show Ireland, shall we? Crackos. Crack whores. Guard will pretend someone like her is a policeman. As long as it cooperates with the fuckers. I've degenerated. I should clean up my language. I'm listening to some gang members. Basically listening to crap. Listening to crap. Crap, crap, crap. Listening to crap, crap. Listening to crap. Oh, one of the whores just made a threat about my possessions getting glass in the suitcase when I leave. And it's a whore in the janitor's room, and she's playing Glass Lane. Now let's discuss who allowed this to happen. Seattle Police Department. It started, well, the harassment from the Seattle Police Department, because I reported a meth lab 13 years ago, or a probable one. It was a tri-court security guard who was also a cop, allegedly. Yes, it was, I remember. And then there have been people like Officer Bobby. Officer Bobby of the West Precinct decided that one of the whores is playing circ. So if you think you can, quote, circumcise me, better open up your pants, because you're going to get it too. And now, if you really want to know the truth, I've been threatened with circumcision so much that I'm going to tell you something. Now, you know what would be kind of ironic during Armageddon? Start in Washington State and circumcise every female. Why would I say that? I've been threatened every day with it practically. Including by whores, black Nazis, scum, Hispanic Nazis. So during Armageddon, or even if you were not invaded and you decided to circumcise people, start with Washington State, please. And would I have said no? I say it now. Just line up the bitches and gang them. Why? They kept promoting it. Give them what they want. Circumcise. And circumcise every male. Cut them. So, are they circumcising Bloods, Zetas, or Asian street gangs? Oh, I didn't see it. Didn't hear it. It's not my problem. Are they circumcising anyone who threatened me? Oh, I didn't say blah, blah, blah. Especially when you go to the me about like a fistula. You know, whore, when you threaten someone and you get in their face with a razor and you intend to cut them, you never know what could happen later or during. So, let's make a prayer that these terrorists, you're going to be going to prison like a terrorist. I say put the Americans acting like this in Guantanamo Bay for at least 6 years now. Guantanamo. Line them up, and don't forget to circumcise them, by the way. If they like it, they promote it, circumcise them. Give them what they threaten. That'd be a good prison. You give them what they threaten. In fact, now I'm going to do some things right now. I'm busy. I'm going to be cursing. Oh, and by the way, the whore that threatened me is, according to what I hear, which is something to thank God about. These are zombie bumps. Jesus would not have prayed for them. He would have pushed them over the cliff in pigs. No need to waste the pigs. I don't eat pork. But these people profess to be demons. Well, where do you put? Pray that they all go to hell and burn. Vaporize them. You don't want any zombie prions. Do I mean, wait, am I endorsing any terrorism? No. Push away. Now some solfeggio tones, which, by the way, they will try to curse you for using healing tones. The same effectively against them. F-E-G-G-I-O. So I use it. Now, this is personal, but I went to the bathroom, so I waited because I don't like to pray right away after going to the bathroom. Not good. And if you look at the hygiene laws of the religion, you don't pray right after going to the bathroom, unless I was, felt like, oh, go take a shower, and I feel like there's evil on top, vulnerable. Then would ask God to forgive me for breaking that hygiene law. Someone's attacking you, God would forgive. But just know this, and everybody's sick, and whether you're a Christian, atheist, and scientific, there's something wrong with Washington, and they all need to be rounded up and put away, including the Seattle Police Department. And you wonder why everyone's out of hand. It's because the department did. They're running the gangs. But the thing is, here's hope. There's a gleam of hope, and they'll work on it with the paranormal, unfortunately. These gang members are afraid of a real 911 call on top of a fake 911 call, and I already took to discuss what I would do because I didn't know which room for sure. Some of the, and then when actual 911 was called, something else, the dirty security guards were afraid because some of them reeked, of course, like I've said, of meth. They probably reeked strongly of whores, too, if you know what I mean. But they reeked of meth. Actually panicked when there was a real 911 call. And you notice that we go through this shit every day, including bums standing in behind my shop, telling me they're there to arrest me. They're FBI even. And one materialized. Even if they showed you a badge, well, then you call 911 and you tell them it's a bad cop with the security guards, and they're pretending they can. Hospital, I don't even know if it's open. So some of the hospital or military, or even like they've been threatening nursing home. They've been threatening nursing home, like stick you in the basement or the basement here, large retail empty space. And then there's the janitor's room, and they'll try to outfit it like a hospital room. They'll also do things like portray that you're not allowed to leave because this is a mental hospital. I showed you the rent statement. The black Nazis and the other subversives are very much in on falsifying paperwork or just verbally falsifying. They also will spread it out over the net, and they will do character assassination. They get caught in their lives. If one, see, that's why I was like, gosh, that Seattle Police Department must be pretty stupid. Well, it's not just stupid. It's just that they had a lot of them. So possibly 5 Seattle Police Department people coming here illegally. He needs like 8 operations on the brain. He's not. It's the black Nazi, and he and the neurons, whether they're white, black, or in between, they need 8 operations on the brain just to cut down. Guarantee that he's going to stop at me with pain. They actually need lobotomies. If I were the government, I would actually euthanize them because the 8 operations. They're not worth feeding. They're not worth caring for. And I could even broadcast the Solfeggio eventually as live broadcast.